Mystery shooting as young soldier shot to death. National Security Minister said he's not worried by the amount of people shot by the police. Taxi driver shot and killed in Westmoreland. Couple executed in St. Elizabeth. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Dr. Horace Chang, the Minister of National Security, has addressed worries regarding a rise in police fatal shootings by announcing that law enforcement will persist in defending themselves against criminal attacks. Over 100 persons have been shot and killed by the security forces since the year began, according to the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM. According to Dr. Chang, the investigation body findings and the concern raise the possibility that the police are carrying out execution of offenders. But the minister argued that this is untrue since when police confront criminals, the majority of whom are armed, there are obvious evidence of combat. He said the criminals are heavily armed and he is not concerned by the amount of persons killed by the police. Here is the security minister.
They're heavily armed, and that is true of most of our criminals that the police have been attacking. And I cannot ask the police to expose themselves to injury. Well, a policeman shot in St. Catherine in his face. He's just one of those injuries that you say it was fortunate the way it went. He was shot in his face in combat. That man, two people were killed in that. To classify it the same way you complete a kind of collateral shooting by police is, I think, a little bit out of line in terms of how you present the data. But the international community tend to do that. The human rights people tend to do that. You should realize they're all been conducted in clear combat situation with men who are determined to kill, have killed, would kill again, and was willing to kill the police. Such individuals have to be dealt with in combat. And we train our policemen well, we prepare them, we give them the body armor and the helmets to protect them, because my first responsibility is to protect the officer involved and to protect the wider society, to allow the officer to work safely.
National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang. Head of the Clarendon Police, Superintendent Shane McCullough, says the police continue to pursue those behind the August 11th Cherry Tree Lane massacre. 8 people, including an 8-year-old boy, were killed when armed men invaded the community. 2 of the main suspects have since been charged. The government has also established a $25 million fund to offer rewards for information that can assist the investigations. A man was fatally shot in Clarendon on Thursday during the intensified operations, and Superintendent McCullough has urged suspects not to engage the police when confronted. A state of public emergency has also been imposed in the parish. And here is why the police now take no chance. A soldier was killed early Friday morning inside the zone of special operations in Denhamtown in West Kingston. Reports are that about 1:30 a.m. the soldier was patrolling in the vicinity of Charles Street and Chestnut Lane when he was shot. Communications officer with the Jamaica Defense Force, Major Cason Gonzal, warned that the JDF would not be deterred in its commitment to support the crime-fighting efforts of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and will continue in its efforts to locate the cowards who took the life of their fellow brother. This is a soldier who was described by family as only 21 years old, very educated, and had just joined the force this year. Citizens in West Kingston said he was loved by everyone in the same community he was patrolling, as he did not treat the citizens like the other soldiers did. He was kind to them, had a good word of encouragement when he spoke to them. Now everyone is tight-lipped on how he got shot, as it might not have been the bullet of any gunman. Citizens are saying he might have been shot by one of his own, and we're wondering, will we get the truth? And I'll keep you posted when that story broke. A taxi operator was shot and killed and his wife wounded after gunmen invaded their home in Water Lane in Georges Plain, Westmoreland on Thursday evening. He has been identified as 70-year-old Renal Madden. Reports are that the elderly couple was at home with other relatives when a man drove up on a motorcycle and stopped at their gateway. The man disembarked with a firearm, entered the house through the front door, and it's understood that the man shot the couple before escaping. The couple was then taken to hospital where Mr. Madden was pronounced dead and his wife admitted in critical condition. A craft vendor and her spouse were shot dead on Friday morning in Mangawak Lane in Mountainside in St. Elizabeth. They have been identified as Sharon Calder and Richard Foster. And it's understood that about 3:45, Miss Calder and her common-law husband were making their way to Mountainside Square when explosions were heard. When the shooting subsided, Miss Calder's body was seen in the lane while Mr. Foster's body was found meters away in bushes. Miss Calder's brother, Carlton, who described his sister as loving and caring, called for the killers to be brought to justice. Meanwhile, the St. Mary police have confirmed that a man seen in a viral video beating a woman is a JCF member attached to this police division. Divisional Head Deputy Superintendent Kevin Francis, who was tight-lipped about the incident, said a probe has been launched. In the video, which sparked discussions among social media users, a man who police identified as a police constable can be seen delivering consecutive blows to the woman's face and head as he repeatedly demanded that she leave the area. A child was also heard crying in the background, and it's believed that the abused woman shares a child with that policeman. DSP Francis insisted that the police do not endorse domestic violence and urged anyone being affected by such a situation to seek help. However, up to now we have not heard if the policeman was charged for the beating of the woman. Now, this is why badness can't done, because if that woman have a father, a brother, a uncle, or a cousin who check for her, do you think that is not going to cause some form of a retaliation? That is life in Jamaica. Another alleged member of the Bentley Lane gang has been charged for wreaking havoc in Rosetown in the Kingston Western Police Division. Rohan Tomlin's 19-year-old, otherwise called Popsy, was charged under the Anti-Gang Act, and he was charged Thursday with being a member of a criminal organization and participating in a criminal organization. And investigators accused the 19-year-old of being involved in murders and shootings in the community over the last 3 years. And he has also been charged for the May 17 murder of 37-year-old Marlon Johnson. Several suspects have also been detained and are now facing charges. On to sports, Jamaica Reggae Boys is set to get a major English striker to strengthen the forward line. JFF General Secretary Dennis Chung says forward Mason Greenwood has begun the process of obtaining a passport to play for Jamaica Reggae Boys. Chung, however, said that Greenwood recently started the paperwork, but nothing has been finalized as it will take some time to complete. The 22-year-old Greenwood, a former Manchester United player, has represented England once at the senior level. FIFA rules said he can change allegiance because he was under 21 when he played for England in 2020. And Greenwood is looking to rebuild his career after being charged with attempted rape, domestic assault, and coercive behavior in January of 2022. And those charges were dropped in February 2023 as the judge decided that he was being framed. He left Manchester United to join Marseille in a £30 million deal earlier this year. Greenwood has made a strong start at Marseille, scoring 2 goals in his very first game of the season and providing 2 assists and winning a penalty in his debut during a 5-1 mauling of Brest last weekend. And he's going to make a great reggae boy forward line competitive, and he is deadly up front. Jamaica's next game is September 6, and the coach is hoping that he will be in that lineup against Cuba. Meanwhile, former Jamaica Reggae Boys head coach Theodore Whitmore has been reappointed as head coach of Mount Pleasant Academy following the sudden dismissal of Harold Thomas as head coach. The St. Anne's-based club said in a press release on Friday that Whitmore has been entrusted with building a technical team that will ensure Mount Pleasant continue to compete at the highest level. The club added that owner Peter Gold is apologizing to Mount Pleasant fans for the decision that were taken during the summer that adversely affected the performance of the team. And this is such a joke, as Whitmore in his first season with that club win the Premier League, and in the second season took them to the finals and just barely lost to Cavaliers, and the next week they fired him and they bring in a new coach. And now they fire this new coach after he lost just 1 game and call back Whitmore. Absolutely makes no sense. Whitmore should now turn them down, give them the finger, and tell them that he is not a yo-yo. Anyway, if you missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep us going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.